The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
I did want to share something. Second segment of Kurre and Klapow. By the way, you can podcast all of these shows on the Tony Kurre Radio podcast. Our podcast network is doing really well. It was not my vision for my company when we first started doing this thing. TKR, the Tony Kurre Radio app, with classic rock and all our shows is what I was trying to do. And then all of a sudden the podcast thing started taking off. And so thank you for watching all of our podcasts. We have over 1,000 shows. The UAB Director's Chair with Mark Ingram will be done today. I'm going to record that between 9 and 9:30. He wants to talk classic rock. Well, let's get into it. He said, I want to start doing this Mount Rushmore of blah, 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 blah. So last week we did the Mount Rushmore of favorite classic rock vocalists. So we had to pick 4 classic rock vocalists that we thought should be the Mount Rushmore of the greatest singers of all time.
Well, and the problem with that, the challenge there is the same thing. Classic rock, the gospel of classic rock according to whom?
So now I will say this. Stevie Wonder, I think, is the greatest singer that we've ever had on the face of the earth. Stevie Wonder can sing anything, anytime. His octave is maybe you know what the hell you're talking about. Go listen to Stevie Wonder.
I have.
He's the
best vocalist? I don't mean classic rock.
He's the best singer, yeah.
Ever? No. John Legend's better singer.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're not listening to Stevie Wonder then. He can sing anything. Hell, Stevie Wonder redid Beatles songs. They're better than the Beatles.
Yeah, but it's not the vocals.
Well, that's why I'm asking you, knucklehead. So I came with
I'm trying to get us to who do you
like Mark came with Kevin DeBrow from Quiet Riot, which was like, and I was like,
really? Best vocalist?
Yes, which I love because that's why we debate this, why we talk about this, and of course, if they're my Mount Rushmore, you can say whatever you want about it, but these are mine. It's a very individual thing.
Rose up there. David Lee Roth.
But I came with, and we had honorable mentions. Today we're doing our best frontmen. Not necessarily the best vocalists, but guys.
The front man I get the front man. Okay.
And Rolling Stone just did the top 200 singers of all time.
Oh, I didn't see
you think Paul McCartney is not a great singer?
No.
He's a great singer, but he's not like
so
one of the top 10.
Who was number one?
So on theirs, Aretha Franklin was number one.
Oh, of all, yeah. That's interesting.
Dionne Warwick. I've never met a black woman who couldn't sing. I don't know what it is.
Was it
just
Adele?
Go to a Baptist church on a Saturday and go listen to black women. It's
was like
amazing.
Whitney Houston in there.
Whitney Houston was in there. Adele was in there.
Mariah Carey.
Bob Dylan was in there, and Bob Dylan's not a great singer, but he's very. If you want to say the most distinctive, Stevie Nicks, very distinctive.
Yeah. Was Don Henley in there?
Don Henley was not in there, I don't think.
That's interesting.
And he's a great singer.
Like Barry Manilow?
Barry Manilow was in there.
Okay.
And there's top 200 singers of all time.
Okay. So who's the...
So I went with John Fogerty. I wanted to give him something different. I didn't want to come with Aretha, Stevie, blah, 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 the top 4 they had. I think Steve Perry is one of the greatest singers we've ever had. I do.
Distinct?
He's never flat.
Right.
He can hit any note. It's beautiful. It's angelic. I would say Amy Grant is in that same thing. Yep. Karen Carpenter, I think, was one of the greatest singers we ever had.
Yes. Carole King or no?
Carole King was certainly in there. James Taylor's in there. James Taylor's a great singer. He's not like vocally speaking. He's not, what's your range, but for what he does, he's perfect.
Okay.
So today we're going to do frontmen. And I saw him at the UAB game on Tuesday. And he's like, dude, I got like 25 guys that I'm trying to, thin it out a little bit. So we're going to do that. And we talk about UAB sports. We talk about college sports in general. It's a UAB show, but it's not all.
Well, he's an AD, so
it's the athletic director. But he went off on this classic rock thing, so we may just do classic rock today. So we'll do that. That'll be up later this afternoon, and then we'll be on Fox 6 talking about hacking coming up at 9:35. Birthdays today. Alexandra Daddario, you know who she is?
No.
Oh man.
Okay.
She was in San Andreas with The Rock.
Oh yeah.
She was the woman in
very beautiful.
She's 37 today. Jerry Lewis would have been
98.
97. Very good. Joel Embiid, 29. Nancy Wilson of Heart. She still looks pretty good. We're always thinking Ann can sing better than Nancy, but Nancy
she's 60,
you put a guitar in a woman's
62?
hand, she's 69.
Really?
Yeah. Eric Estrada. Boy, talk about a resurgence in his life. He's still huge.
What is he doing now?
He's probably still in soap operas.
God, Eric Estrada's got to be 68.
74.
Oh, God.
Wolfgang Van Halen, 32, and Chuck Woolery. I'd like to see a show with every.
Is Chuck Woolery still alive?
Yeah, he's 82. I'd like to see every show. I'd like to see a show with every still alive game show host. Is Wink Martindale still alive?
No.
Remember the dude that used to do Joker's Wild? He was kind of cranky.
Mm-hmm.
Mean Gene the Fight Machine from Match
He's
Game.
dead.
Trying to think of some of the other great.
Paul, what's his name? Who was hosted Hollywood Squares?
Oh yeah.
Who also Richard? No.
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson. That was Family Feud.
Family Feud.
Is he dead too?
Peter or something. Mother did.
Okay. Now we're sounding like old men. This is not interesting.
Today is Lips Appreciation Day.
That's wonderful.
Which is relatively new because we really never. Well, lips were not a big deal back in our day.
Well, yes.
Thin lips, thick lips, it didn't matter. And then when they started
right.
lips.
Well, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of.
It was the first person you could think of where lips all of a sudden became important. Now it's, guys used to always say if they wanted to get after you, they'd say, you have beautiful eyes. They never say, hey, you really have a nice rack, or really backside's great. That's not going to get it done. We always pick something that's,
it's appropriate.
Your eyes, you have beautiful piercing eyes.
Yeah, but you do.
Now it's a lip thing. But now I've noticed lip
there's some bad lips now.
But I've never kissed a woman with really skinny lips. Because you got the tongue in the mix there, you got all kinds of different things you can. Today is No Selfies Day. Selfies are always going to be big. Today's National Panda Day.
Love me a good panda. They'll kill you.
Love you a good panda.
They'll kill you. They're vicious.
And of course, we must mention that not only today is the beginning of March Madness, but tomorrow is St. Patty's Day.
That's right. My
Which
wife's
used
Irish.
to be. I think about. I'm a little different now than I was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, St. Patty's for you was a.
No, St. Patty's was a huge day for us. We used to set up outside Jitterbugs. It was one of the days where they put the tents out in the Jitterbugs parking lot. I had a friend of mine.
Well, this is bars make. Is it the biggest day next to New Year's?
Pretty close, yeah.
I mean, I would think.
And they love St. Patty's Day falling. Now, St. Patty's Day is going to fall on a Friday this year, which really is kind of a double whammy.
Yeah.
They love it when St. Patty's Day falls on like a Sunday or Monday because it's a good bar night or an off bar night. So be careful on St. Patty's Day. That's tomorrow. And then tomorrow is also World Sleep Day.
Is it? That's good. I did that last week on Fox.
Psychological, this morning. And we had about 6 or 7 things we could have done with Fox.
Sleep is
I don't think people realize. Now I will tell you, and I told you this morning. I depending on when I go to bed, I don't need an alarm.
You need your own show. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. You're like you're like split personality. You're somewhere between like Tony Curry.
Yeah.
Like we all know Tony Curry, and then every once in a while you slip into it. Like you're slipping it into it.
I'm having a good brain chemical balance day. Now, so this morning, I get my kids 7 on 7 off, right? And so I try to appreciate, because when my kids are here, it's sports 24 hours a day because of my 18-year-old son, and I allow him to watch whatever he wants. Now, I can't get sleepy or settle down when I'm watching a basketball game or a football game. I can't, because I'm too engaged in it, and it's not relaxing to me. I love it. It's the best thing on television.
Yeah, but it's not.
But if I really want to get into a happy place, I'll watch some Smithsonian show. Yes. I'll watch some Nazi concrete show. I'll watch something.
Nazi shows to relax.
Yeah, because it's documentary-ish.
Okay, so documentary-ish, yes.
Like I could actually fall asleep to it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'll watch
a little Nat Geo.
A brand new show called World's or History's Best Heists.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, with Pierce Brosnan, it's so stinking good.
Yeah.
History's Best Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne is great. History Channel's got some great stuff. And then William Shatner, who's 90 years old, is coming back with his new season of Unexplained coming up on the 31st. I know. I even know when these shows start again. Anyway, so I can't. So last night I'm sitting in my chair and I've talked to my therapist, and he's like, "Dude, when you get tired, go to bed. It feels so good to fall asleep in a place you're not supposed to fall asleep." Remember, you used to fall asleep on your mom's couch. Get your ass up and go to bed because it just felt really good to sleep on a couch.
Right.
Go to sleep in your bed.
Yes.
And it could be 9 o'clock at night.
No, go. Yep.
But it always feel, and then you wake up, you feel like crap, your neck hurts, you know, you're like, blah, blah, blah. So I fall asleep last night about 10 o'clock to go to bed. So I went to bed.
Good. That's good.
And it's
Good
changed,
sleep
and I'm waking up, feet on the floor, I feel great. So I woke up at 3:15, which is about an hour before I usually get up. And I thought, well, I'll just get up and have a cup of coffee. I'll do my meditation a little early because I knew you were coming in. I like to do a lot of show prep for our show. I've got a Mark Ingram interview at 9 o'clock. We got Fox 6 at night. I wanted to be on my game. I fell asleep and woke up at 6:47.
I was worried. I was texting you. I thought
I know.
you were like dead or something.
And I was like, okay. But so it's God's way of saying you need some more sleep.
Yeah.
Get some more sleep. So I did. So, but when you're talking about sleep, we have potato chips with caffeine in them now.
Yep.
We have all,
Yeah, we are
Golden Flake has a
so.
caffeine. We have all these things to give us extra energy and to get us fired up. Everything from Monster drinks to Mountain Dews to whatever it takes. Coffee obviously has been around for millions of years to get us through the day. And then at nighttime, we're having a hard time settling down enough to sleep. And most people will tell you two things. I have a really hard time sleeping at night. 1A or 1B. I have a hard time staying awake during the day. Why is that?
Well, yeah.
You know, so
That classic
I found that
science.
when I stopped taking mine, I took naps every day for 14 or 15
But
years.
yours was different. Yeah.
But I found that if I push through and don't take a nap, and I love my nap, because it's almost like putting 2 days into one.
Well, yeah.
But if I pushed off my nap, I'm sleeping a lot better at nighttime because I'm not taking that hour away. And then you throw in daylight savings time. We had this past weekend, and daylight savings, I lost an hour of sleep. Get over
It
yourself.
is. Look, we've always known sleep is important. The research on telomeres and basically the way your brain is wired is just becoming. It's so crystal clear. The number one thing that puts you at risk for every health problem you can imagine, everything from depression to dementia to heart disease to cancer, is sleep. Lack of sleep, or either lack of or poor quality. That's number one. Number two.
That's amazing.
It is, and
Cancer.
this is oh, absolutely, and this is not a that's not, no, it is true.
We
It's true.
we have come from this point now where I only get 4 hours of
Oh,
sleep.
yeah, that's
I
exactly.
Get,
Well,
blah,
you're-
blah, blah.
so-
I only need 4 hours sleep. No, you don't.
When my clients say that, the number one thing is that, when they do it, they wear it with a badge of honor.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you're an idiot. You're an idiot
Yeah.
because A, you're killing yourself. B, you are not functioning at your peak. You may have adapted and feel like you're functioning at your peak, but if your peak is here and you're getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night, you're only functioning here and you're creating brain damage. Brain damage. The most important thing you can do, we talk about diet and exercise and reducing stress, very important. If you're not getting good quality sleep, that shit goes out the window. Doesn't matter. You basically cancel it out. And that's the thing is we are stretching so hard to get more things done that not only are we not sleeping the number of hours, but even people who are sleeping, 7 to 8 hours are very often getting really poor quality sleep. So not deep sleep. And here's the other thing, which I just think
By the way, throw in obesity. 30% of us are morbidly obese. Affects your sleep.
Well, and vice versa. Sleep deprivation affects obesity because it changes your metabolism.
15 years ago, no one knew what a sleep study was.
Right.
Now everyone's taking sleep studies. I've got sleep apnea. Why is that? We're snoring more than any time we ever have, and that could be like sleep continuing. It's really good.
Yeah. No, I always tell people this, and I am somebody who doesn't get enough sleep. I don't get enough sleep.
How much sleep do you get? When do you go to bed? Do you have a set time you go to bed?
Yeah, every single night. Now, which
time
also
you go to
is because I struggled with insomnia for years. I had a hard time, like for 20 years, I struggled with insomnia. So once I got over that, and by the way, about 90% of our sleep problems, I can't fall asleep, I can't stay asleep, that kind of stuff, 90% of those have to do with either behaviors or lifestyle stuff, not an underlying medical condition. Only about 10% of people who have a sleep problem have some sort of medical condition driving it. Most of it is we're either jacked up on caffeine. We have poor sleep patterns where we're changing the times that we go to sleep each night. We're taking naps. We're using technology so that we're using so much technology. This is a huge problem. We're using so much technology that we feel tired. And I don't know how many of us have been through this. You feel tired. You're like, oh, it's not even time to go to bed. You go to bed, and then boing, you're wide awake. Yep. Because your sleep center has not been triggered. There's a sleep switch that has to be turned. This is really interesting. It's very counterintuitive. We have inside our brain, there's a sleep switch. That switch, I'm oversimplifying it, has to be turned on to fall asleep.
Okay.
You would think it's the other way around, like nights out, lights out. And when your brain has been engaged for so long, you still can feel exhausted, but your brain does not trigger the sleep switch to start putting you to sleep.
Yeah.
And so basic things. On average, I don't care who you are, 8 hours of sleep a night. I only need 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No, we do as we get older. As we get older, we don't sleep as well for a variety of reasons, but we should still try for 8 hours. Some people, some adults, absolutely need 9 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
We know that teenagers need at least 10 hours. At least 10 hours. It's a whole big controversy about school start time. Because we've got basically with our teens, they need about 10 hours unless they're going to bed at about 8 o'clock. We're bringing them in, and their first two periods are not even late.
Yeah.
So it's a huge thing. Athletes, the great thing about at least sports now is instead of just pushing and pushing and pushing, athletes are on great sleep patterns. I think the worst people, besides shift working, which is really hard, or like when you used to do early morning radio, or our friends at Fox, where you literally have to get up at 2:15 in the morning, are people who are trying to push through to be successful in business.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I tell people, I don't care if you're gonna get into the office at 4 a.m., then your ass better be going to bed at 7.
So you think about how many times, just think about the last time you got a good night's sleep, how good your day was.
Yeah.
One of those nights where you didn't wake up, you got the deep sleep, you got the REM state, and you woke up and you got a good 7, 8 hours sleep.
Well, and what you talked about falling asleep, one of the tests for sleep deprivation is if you are in a seated position in a situation that is not overly stimulating, you're listening to somebody talk, and you find yourself falling asleep, number one sign, you're sleep deprived. No, again, you may only be sleep deprived from the night before, but if you can't stay awake in a boring talk, and think about it, I'm boring talks. Those. Yeah. How many people you have the head nodding? Sleep deprived.
Yeah, I don't.
There's your health tip for the day.
No, it's great. I don't think people realize, because I mean, it's that's the first thing doctors ask. Regardless of what your situation is, how you sleeping?
Yes.
My doctor says, how you sleeping?
Right.
I'm fine. I get my 5, 6 hours. I wake up, I'm ready to go. Feet hit the floor, I'm like, yeah. And it takes a while to get those 2 hours back. For example, I know that I can sleep good for 5 hours at this point. I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night. I woke up at 3:15. I mean, I was wide awake.
Yeah.
And normally people tell you, if you're wide awake, get up and go. But what happened? I fell asleep for another 3 hours.
Right.
There's my 8 hours.
There you go. Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
All right. This could be our last segment because we got to record a show here with Mark Ingram, the UAB athletic director. Congratulations to the Blazers, albeit I know they're very disappointed they didn't make the NCAA tournament they did last year. Next year, maybe in the AAC. I hope your bracket looks good. By the way, did a great show with Kiefer and Curry. Go pull up the Tony Curry Radio podcast series. It's a Kiefer and Curry show.
Love it.
It is one of my favorite shows I've ever done. And I've worked with Al and Jay, and I love those guys, don't get me wrong. But he's in his 50s, I'm in my 50s. We talk about topical things, but we have a really good, interesting spin and angle. And the show we did this week is all about March Madness and the phenomenon of March Madness and why it's so incredible. And by the way, I don't think people realize the NCAA is a non-for-profit.
Yes.
In 2020, the NCAA posted a $56 million loss for the NCAA. Why? We didn't have March Madness.
Oh, yeah, 2020, yeah.
The tournament brings in $1.14 billion here in 2023. 90% of that money goes back out to the institutions. And then for every game a team wins, they get a unit. So you can get up to 6 units based on your play, and each unit's worth about $380,000. That money doesn't go directly to that school. It is paid out by the NCAA to the school, but they say, please disperse it among your conference. So when you have a conference with 8 or 9 bids, and they're winning 2 or 3 games, you're talking about millions and millions, you're talking a $900 million pie. The NCAA would not exist without the men's basketball tournament. You're like, whoa, what about college football?
Yeah.
The college football playoff is run by a different entity. It's not the NCAA, it's the CFP.
Oh, that's right.
And so they make no money off that, which I thought was really interesting. So, for example, I called my UAB folks for tickets on Tuesday night. I'm like, we can't give you any tickets because it's the NIT. We don't run the NIT. The NCAA doesn't run the NIT, so I had to pay for tickets. But it's interesting, but a lot of people don't realize. And $3.1 billion will be spent on March Madness brackets this year. And I think that's one of the reasons, not only because of the Cinderella story, it takes 3 weeks to get through.
Oh, I love it.
It's
love
on from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Love it.
This is like
this is
Christmas.
heaven for
One of the best days of the year today is. And the reason is, and these people that don't want to allow gambling. Listen, I'm one of them. I'm like, there's so many different places you go gamble. Why do we? The lottery and stuff, with gambling's the worst thing. Well, you know what? You just gave the person back in HR $10 for your bracket, and you're going to win money from it. Why is that? You're gambling. That's gambling. If you go play bingo at your church, it's gambling.
It's different.
It's the same damn thing.
It's different.
That's why Rick Neuheisel couldn't get a job because he was in a $50,000 bracket. Oh, that's Steve.
Now this
little $100 bracket stuff is okay, but when you're spending $50,000, that's gambling. That's bad. You're gambling. So get over yourself and enjoy it, and I hope you win. That's why. And everyone's got a shot. You don't have to know what the hell you're talking about. You can just take the higher seed in the matchup, and you're probably going to do pretty well.
Well, and I think with basketball in particular, I'm totally biased, so I guess I'll qualify that. But with basketball in particular, you can turn on. This was so great about March Madness. Mm-hmm. If you're not a huge basketball fan, you can tune in to the last 2 minutes of that close game, and for 2 minutes, it's absolute excitement. Like even if you don't like basketball, right? Who's going to win? Who's going to win last shot? You don't see that. I mean, in a football game, it doesn't really. It can work that way, but it doesn't always work that way.
It's a little amazing because if you ever watch Red Zone, they talk about the bewitching hour of the fourth quarter. It's amazing. Winners become losers, losers become winners. It's amazing because that's why you play the game. That's why you play the game. Someone in the tournament today will be down by 10 with 3 minutes left and they'll win on a buzzer beater. It's just great. It's just super.
So excited. We are so excited.
Yeah, and I know everyone loves it, but man, if you're really into it and you're filling out bracket stuff, have a great time. All right, we'll be back in about 35-40 minutes. Check out WBRC. Put it on your television, Fox 6. We're going to be talking about having your accounts hacked. Dr. Josh. See if this guy. He should have gone after your Instagram post.
That's what I'm worried about. That's why I changed it.
I'm not telling him anything he doesn't already know.
Oh, yeah. That's what my son said.
It was weird.
It's really weird when one of your kids they text you, Dad, WTF. Your Twitter account.
Oh, good. Yeah. It was. I saved some screenshots.
I know. I used them as
friends. It was great. All right. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. And we'll be on Fox 6 in 35 minutes.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.